Hello YouTube, Salivate Metal here, and we have some semi-breaking news in the precious metals community. This comes to us from Walt 2T. Thank you very much for sending the story along. It looks like there was a gold lunar module stolen from the Neil Armstrong Museum. And what's fascinating about this is how rare these are. And was given in kind of dedication to and commemoration of the lunar landing in 1969. And as most of you know, the United States Mint will produce some curved commemorative coins, and its first 5-ounce curved commemorative coins to commemorate this special occasion in 2019. But let's take a look at this story from Ohio. Ohio police say a rare gold replica of the lunar space module has been stolen from the Armstrong Air and Space Museum. Police in Wapakoneta, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, in northwest Ohio, responded to an alarm at the museum just before midnight on Friday night and discovered that the 5-inch high solid gold replica had been stolen. Replicas of the lunar excursion module produced by Cartier in France were presented to Neil Armstrong and his two fellow astronauts Buzz Aldrin and Michael Collins in Paris shortly after their historic space mission. Armstrong, a Wapakoneta native, became the first person to step on the moon's surface in July 1969. The FBI and the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation are assisting Wapakoneta police in the investigation of the theft. Armstrong died in 2012 at the age of 82, and I'm not sure when this piece was donated to the museum. If it was before, I assume it was probably before he passed away, but I've never visited the museum, so maybe some of you Ohioans may know or may have seen. In doing a little bit of research on this piece, we know it's solid gold. There's not really a whole lot more information. There's I guess a pamphlet you can get from Cartier that talks about the module, and we'll kind of read from this little thing. I guess it's a calendar type of deal. And it talks about this particular replica. And on July 21st, 1969, man walks on the moon for the first time. That spirit of curiosity, enthusiasm, and a desire to break through the boundaries are also communicated by Cartier, which ventures into the unexplored territories of space. Everything is mastered at Rue de la Paix, including the expertise needed to pay tribute to those who have gone beyond the unknown. At the request of the daily newspaper Le Figaro, Cartier creates 3 solid gold miniatures of the lunar module to be presented to the American astronauts, Neil Armstrong, Michael Collins, and Edwin Buzz Aldrin, during their official visit to Paris. Readers of Le Figaro who have subscribed to the creation of these objects are able to contribute to immortalizing the event of the century. Their names are inscribed on a microfilm contained in each module. So that's really neat. But that's really about all we know about the piece. It's quite interesting. Here's another story that talks about it. And essentially, I guess it's just a press release. The only thing we know, it's a 5-inch high solid gold replica. And it doesn't really talk about anything else about the description of the module. So all we have, so I don't know how much it weighs, or, by solid gold, if it means just the center parts. I'm not sure. Here's another picture of the piece. And I imagine that this may be possibly a replica that could possibly be purchased. I don't know. But there you see it, a nice replica. I can't imagine the stands are made of solid gold, as they would probably bend under the weight of the other gold that's more substantive. So imagine the frame is probably steel of some sort. But very, very interesting. A nice, delicate, detailed piece for sure. And here's another even better picture of the piece. Very nice. Very nice indeed. Solid gold. And someone has this in their possession. And that begs the question that we always seem to get about these types of things. Is this thing, was it an inside job? Could it be insurance fraud? This, of course, obviously the one that was stolen has Neil Armstrong's name on it. And so very, very interesting indeed. And then the next question is, well, did the man really land on the freaking moon? That's the next question, and I don't know. No, actually, honestly, they did. We know it happened. But there are always some people out there that think it never happened. But there you go. So very interesting indeed. And so there's only 3 of these in existence, apparently, from what I was able to tell. And so there it is. So thank you again to Walt2T for bringing the story to my attention. And I hope it's recovered soon. It'd be nice to have it back in the museum, because I wouldn't mind checking it out if I'm ever in that area, which is very rarely, if never, ever. But if I ever know to go that way, I'd love to see a gold replica of the Lunar module, the lander there. Very, very nice indeed. So post your thoughts on this story. And as always, if I find out any follow-up as to where this thing is, I will let you know. And if any of you all find out before I post a video on it, feel free to send me a PM or an email, and just as Walt2T has, and we shall see. But anyways, I'd like to extend the multitude of gratitude y'all for watching, and encourage you to please rate, comment, and subscribe.